Hello, everyone. Before we get started with today's show, I think it's important that I comment on the events of yesterday, Wednesday, January 6th, in the U.S. Capitol. I'm not referring to the Electoral College certification process, though I could, since it is newsworthy in its own right and it's related to what I'm talking about. I'm referring to the fact that a group of angry, even unhinged, and in some cases reportedly armed people stormed the U.S. Capitol in what I assume they decided was a form of justified protest, and I'm being charitable. I started this podcast as an ode to staffers, the people who work largely behind the scenes in government and politics at any level. This podcast is rooted in respect for them and their work and the project that work is a part of, which is American self-governance. That is a beautiful thing. But we are seeing the degradation of that beautiful thing by leaders and, yes, some staffers through incitement and willing departure from verifiable truth and legitimate process. I had an old boss who said, democracy only works if we think it does. And that statement, I didn't fully wrap my mind around when he first said it, but it has grown in importance to me over the years. This democracy only works if each of us believes that our vote and the votes of everyone have duly elected our leaders. That's what empowers our leaders to make decisions and for us as citizens to accept those decisions. That's why our voting process has extensive rules and regulations, guidelines for transparency, and a process for recounts and appeals, all of which have been utilized in the last few weeks. I am not saying that our voting process is perfect. In fact, there are lots of things I'd like to change about our voting process. But I am saying that the current objections are demonstrably false. They have been proven false repeatedly. And the peddlers of these lies, from Donald Trump on down, are attacking both verifiable truth, capital T truth, and the very heart of what makes our democracy run. And now, as we saw yesterday, lives are at risk. Staffers I know on both sides of the aisle were put in grave danger, needlessly and unfairly. Today, you'll hear me talk with Frank Luntz, a Republican pollster, and some of the things we touch upon are the importance of word choice and civility in our politics so that our politics can operate within certain bounds. I even raised the all too common use of the word traitor, which I find particularly offensive. And I hope that part of the conversation resonates, but in light of yesterday's events, I feel I need to go further and say two things to every staffer in Washington today, and perhaps all over the country. Number one, from the bottom of my heart, I hope you are safe, and I want to express my profound appreciation that you've decided to commit your talents and your energies to making the country and the world a better place. But number two, if you are trafficking in QAnon-style conspiracies to undermine the results of this election, and or your boss is doing the same, you need to stop. Politics is a seductive business. It has power and hubris, and those are dangerous things, and together they are more than toxic, they are combustible, and we are watching them combust. Every staffer and everyone in public life needs the humility to say things like, I might be wrong. I might lose an election, and if I do, I'll accept the result, but fight on through future elections or in other ways that are valid and policy-oriented. And most importantly, right now, we need some people who are willing to say, this has gone too far. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the show. Stay safe.